What's up, guys? Happy Saturday to you. This is Cards and Cold Brew. This is my favorite. This is probably my best investment besides any sports cards I've made in 2020. This is about $20, and I love making my own cold brew at home. So I decided to skip the cards and cake last night. Just wanted the night off, to be honest, and I didn't have my cheat meal, which I might have today. But there's a couple things I want to talk about. So I see Mike C is in here early. So happy Saturday to you, Mike C. A couple things, man, because the market's been crazy. I see a lot of cards selling for ridiculous prices. I know NBA Top Shot is through the roof as well. And there's a lot of money circulating. There's a lot of money being placed elsewhere because people are afraid that the dollar is losing value, which it is, as more of it's getting printed. And it reminds me of this quote. What's up, Chris? How's it going, man? Reminds me of this quote, and I think this is just something that I really wanted to share because it's just important. What's up, McLeod 0187? Let me show you guys this quote, and it's by Warren Buffett. It's probably something you've seen, but I think that it's something that it's an appropriate time to share right now, and that is, let me see, right here, and it's called, or it goes, we simply attempt to be fearful when others are greedy, and to be greedy when only when others are fearful. And I think right now is a time where a lot of people are being greedy. There's a lot of money floating around. There's a lot of money going to things, and prices are going through the roof. It kind of reminds me of where we were at back in July and August, where cards were doubling and doubling. And I'll show you guys some of the charts right now, just so you have an idea as to what is going up the most and what is going down, because then it'll really tie together. But the big thing I wanted to bring up is, like, I've been selling like crazy on Comp C. I've had over 160 sales on Comp C alone in January. Over 160. That's my high. I've had over 50 sales on eBay. And I'm like, man, why is everything selling so easily? And it's just more of like a warning where I go, man, if money is floating around this much and prices are going up this quickly, maybe it's time for me to sell off, step back, and just take a look at what is actually low. Because let me show you the charts in a second. It has been ridiculous. Yeah, man. Yo, say my name. Sorry, dude. You're going to have to be here for the next 45 minutes because this video is not ending. And Ed, yeah, appreciate it, man. Dude, this is so comfortable. I got this at a like hotel in Florida. I took it from the spa. You know, they don't like the rooms would charge you if you take the robes, but the spa just had them. So I'm like, let me just take one of these robes right here from the spa, and I just couldn't let it go. And yeah, it makes sense, man. With here's the thing, my Comp C sales have been like a lot of 90s basketball, which I know is really popular right now. Just a lot, man. Over 150. I think it's like 163 sales. What's up, John? I don't know what the hell that means, to be honest, but if you eat buffets, Buffett's, okay. Because the thing is, I love buffets, so I was getting buffet and Buffett confused. Let me show you guys the charts real quick because it'll really tie together, but I just want to give you this warning in a sense, just because I'm seeing so much money changing hands. And then look, the more we talk about prices going through the roof, the more that feeling of FOMO hits us. And it's like, hey, I want to get in. I want to get in. I don't want to miss out on this. But at the same time, someone is going to be left with the hot potato. And so this is basketball cards in the last 30 days. And this is what has gone up the most. And you see here, Rodman, Jordan, Bird, Kobe, Jordan. The only active player is Zach LaVine. And every time I see his name, I think of Adam Levine from Maroon 5. And ironically, I think Adam Levine from Maroon 5 looks like Joe Flacco, the quarterback of, well, I don't know what team he's on now, but Shaq, Kobe, Larry. Look at this, 100%, 160%, 200% Jordan, LeBron. So this tells me, okay, this is a wave. Obviously, these guys are proven. They're Hall of Famers. They're all-time greats. But this is a good time to sell because this is not sustainable. You're not going to see prices go up 130%, 200% month over month. So there's going to be a dip. Even here, David Robinson, Hoops, PSA 9, up 116%. Will people care so much about David Robinson, or are they just getting caught up in this this latest trend. And look, if there's a trend to be caught up in, it's in all-time greats. So I'm not against that. But to me, when I see all of this, I think, all right, it's too drastic of a change for it to sustain itself. So that's why I would be selling. And then if I go to, let me just make sure I'm sharing this correctly. Okay, good. And if I go down to what has dropped the most, Trey Young, I was like, damn, a Trey Young Revolution PSA 9 down 68%. A lot of Zions. Maybe this is the time to go in on some of these active players just because you have 60% down, 58, 52, because it's a weird time of the year where a lot of teams are with mediocre records or losing records that we thought would, do better. And there's only a few teams with great records. But honestly, maybe this is the time because this is like really steep discounts here. Trey Young, this is his second year, but still lots of Zions. Rui, who is, like I sold my Rui's earlier, but I'm thinking of going back in just because for the Olympics, but I wanted to make sure that it was a down period, not when it was high. But look at this. Let me see if I could do all of Rui's dates. And look, I haven't seen him play. I think he had like something like COVID or something with his eye earlier. He was more of an off-season pickup for me. But then his cards hit PSA 10, $191. And now, what are we at? 102. So 102, 104, 99, the last couple sales. That's just the kind of stuff I'm seeing right now. Heading on over to hockey. And look, there's only a few cards, 14 cards on market movers in hockey. But look at this. Everything is going up except for one card, Jaromir Jagr, PSA 10. Everything else through the roof. So that's telling me money is just, it's flooding to cards right now, which makes me a bit nervous when it's more of like a cash grab. And then football, obviously we got Tom Brady, the GOAT, the BOAT, top three here, Deshaun Watson, Aikman, Brady, Deshaun Watson. Makes sense here. All this seems to make sense. Brett Favre, I'm not sure why Brett Favre, unless it's just part of that like vintage run. Dion, same thing here. So Patrick Mahomes makes sense. But if I go down to what has dropped the most, this is where it starts to interest me because if I had Tom Brady cards right now, which I have the low end ones, but if I had some rookie cards of his, I'd be selling. But here you have Tua, Burrow, you have all these guys that people were so hot on just a couple months ago in the season dropping like crazy. Lamar Jackson, I think is I'm getting a couple Lamars myself. I think he's a good buy for next year. I think they'll have better wide receivers. Russell Wilson. But to me, that's it. And even the degree at which they're dropping, look, 7%, 8%, 10%, only a few cards, only about, let's say 10 or so are dropping more than 25 or 30%. So just something I want to point out because it looks like a lot is going up right now, which tells me to sell versus to buy. And then going on to baseball, look at this. Cal Ripken up 346% in the last 30 days. And I mean, here's the thing. These are all based off of eBay sales that need to be verified. But look at this, man. 200%, 230, all the way down. Let me keep going. Do the top 50. And baseball has just been on fire for the last couple months, which it makes sense with the upcoming season. But all of these guys, Hall of Famers, Jeter, I think that has something to do with the Hall of Fame. He might have to let me know if he's Hall of Fame eligible. Griffey, Hank Aaron. So all this is through the roof. But even all the way down here, plus 66%. And if I go down to what has dropped, this is what's interesting because what has dropped in baseball in market movers the last 30 days. And we look at this. Look at this. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. So let's say about 30 cards, but these are little, minus 7%, minus 8. If we look at cards that have dropped substantially, like 20% or more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 cards in baseball that have dropped more than 20% in the last 30 days. So that right there tells me I want to sell baseball. I don't want to be buying because there's nothing really on sale. Everything's just going up, which, there's room for profit to be made on the way up. You just don't know when the peak is going to be. Okay. And then I was just looking up random cards to see why in the world these guys were going up. And Calvin Johnson, I think that's Hall of Fame related because This is his year. So that's gone up, which makes sense. Brett Favre, I'm not sure what's with Brett Favre, but if you take a look at the last few sales, up to $500. And then just, a month ago, this is 225 or 250, 308. And now last sale, about $500. That's crazy. Adrian Peterson, I thought this one was random because Adrian Peterson, he's still playing to my knowledge unless he retires. But the last sale in PSA 10, $175, while in October, when he was actually playing, we're talking about $71, $72 right here, $79. But the fact that after the season's over, he's at 175 is just like that kind of stuff doesn't make sense to me. So that I'll sell all day. Sam Darnold's another one, and I'll get back to your comments in a second. Sam Darnold, look at this. So his peak was $247 here at the hype, when the hype was the highest around the season, and then dropping down to $62, $63 for his PSA 10. But now the season's over. I haven't heard much of Sam Darnold at all, and yet his last sale was $160. Like, what is going on for this to be justified? That doesn't make sense. Dalvin Cook was another guy I was looking into, and I'm like, all right, off season, he had a great year. Let's check his prices for next year, and it was $135 at its low, and then the last sale, which I don't know if that's legit, that's $300. So I don't know, lots of crazy stuff going on. But let me get back to the comments here. For one, I'm glad that I actually shared the screen because so many times I've done this and I've been rambling for 10 minutes showing all these charts only to realize I didn't share the screen. So I'm really happy about that. Let's see. What's up, Brian? Yeah, that makes sense on Derek Jeter. NBA Top Shots, I discussed this with Dustin. I'm intrigued by the idea. Anything that is new, I'm just way more reserved by, because when anything new, like a new car, anything that's new is going to get attention because this could be it, right? This could be the next thing that lasts for 20 years, but I don't know if it will. So my whole thing on NBA Top Shot is that it's not for me right now. When there's a year under its belt, then I'll look into it. It's kind of like how I view a rookie player. It's, hey, you're new, you're flashy, you should be great, you were drafted high, but I have no freaking clue if you're going to be good or not. And if your prices are high because there's a lot of attention and hype around you, then I'm going to wait for that to simmer down. I'm going to see if you're actually a good player, and then I'll go in during your next low period. So when no one's talking about NBA Top Shot, or it's already sustained a level of business and popularity, and it's not the new flashy thing, then I'll look into it further. But I'd rather just deal with cards personally. Okay, let's see who else is in here. This is Market Movers Pro. I don't know what the difference is between Light and Pro, but that is it. Dude, I think Kobe prices will dip at some point because nothing I've seen since getting back into here has sustained its level. Like, I remember last year, The Last Dance was the big thing where all the Jordans and Pippins and Rodmans went through the roof. And it was about a month before Last Dance where it really started to spike. And then a week or so in, it was already softening because the expectation, like the hype had already deflated because the docuseries had started. And it's Michael Jordan, right? He's not going anywhere. He's the GOAT. He is the best ever. It's, he's a global icon as well. And yet his price is still deflated. So I look at all this as trends, but with guys like Kobe and MJ and LeBron, there's a much bigger insurance policy. It's like, yeah, I can buy right now and it could dip down to where it was 2 months ago, but I know I'll be good in the long run. While the difference is if I bought Kobe White or something, silver PSA 10, he might not ever reach that price again if he doesn't perform. So I'm all for the Hall of Famers. I would just rather buy Hall of Famers when they're at a low versus at their high. And even someone like Tom Brady, who I hope to God wins the Super Bowl with my Bucks, I would buy his cards, in March or April or May, even after he wins, based on where the cards are there, than right now when ESPN is talking about the Super Bowl every single day and every little angle they can. So, yeah, that's my take. What's up? Got sports cards. Appreciate it, Adam. Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy, John. And like, that's where it gets yeah, not Buffet. Not Warren's Buffet, but Buffett. Got it. But that's where, like, here's the thing. I remember there's this topic I was talking about a while ago, because I always go through it myself, where it's I want to be a great investor, right? I want to sell for a profit and do things the right way so I can make money and sustain it and move on. But then there's always this urge of, do I hold off and sell for more later? Because we never know when we're going to be at the end of the cliff, about to fall off, right? Ideally, we want to be that person that buys at the very low and then sells at the very high. Like, that would be ideal. We buy for $50, sell for $400, and that was the lowest auction, and we sold for the highest auction. But there's only one sale that's at that lowest point and only one peak, right? So I'm more of like you know what, let me get my profit, and if someone else has a higher risk tolerance, they take it, and if they can double their money again, and if someone else can double their money again, that's fine. I'd rather have the formula going forward where I get out at 50% to 2x return on most investments, and I'm good with that. And I'll let others, ride the wave, whatever it is. All right, this is a good question here. And guys, I might not see all the comments, so I apologize. I'm just gonna pick out what I see here. I see. Here's the thing. I think the hobby is, there's a lot of fun. There's a lot of nuance. There's a lot of different angles. There is ripping. There is the gambling, like Star Stock, or like the day trading. There is the long-term investments. There's the nostalgia. There is just so much going for the hobby. But just like in August, there was so much going for the hobby then, and then everything crashed because people were caught up in just, I got to get in now because it'll only keep going up. I think overall the hobby's fine. I just think that with all the money being printed and all of people realizing that money's going to lose value as it's printed so liberally, that they're going to put money in something else. And I think that's where, like, crypto and all these other forms of assets are getting inflated in price, but that just doesn't last forever. So for me, it's more like, okay, I'm good with the hobby, but what are the cards that are low? And then there are some football cards now that I've been buying. I bought like a handful of Russell Wilson Prism PSA 10s that I'll show you guys in another video. But I looked at the charts and I'm like, I'm comfortable at this price, but I'm not comfortable when the price keeps going up and I feel like we're getting closer and closer to that cliff. Good question here on soccer. Soccer cards were going up as well. In fact, let me see if I can pull this up for you. In fact, all of soccer cards, except for maybe one or two that I saw, were going up. I don't think it was going up as crazy as last time, though. Like, because there was that huge rush back in July and August where that was the soccer bubble. Here, let me share the screen. I'll show you guys. All right, there it is. There it is. Okay. So here is soccer in the last 30 days, graded cards only. Lionel Messi, Neymar, blah, blah, blah. There's only 16 cards in market movers, I guess, based on the last 30 days. And up, 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 up. Not to the same level. And there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards that have gone down. But it's still overall going up. And if you saw the soccer charts back in October and November, there wasn't a single card that was going up. Everything was just coming back down to earth from that huge bubble a couple of months prior. Let me have a sip of my cold brew. Guys, if you're just hopping on and you like cold brew from Starbucks, this is like $20 off of Amazon. It makes cold brew. You just let it steep overnight, and it saves you a lot of money because, this is $20. I buy my own coffee. I throw it in there. And if you can save $3 a day on coffee because you're not spending $5 at Starbucks and you spend $2 there, hey, man, you roll that over into cards. Oh, hold on a second. We got a super chat. Score with Vince. I appreciate your support, man. Thanks so much. Let me find your comment down here if it's there. And yeah, there is an option to super chat. It's just a way. Okay, dude, I appreciate it, man. That wasn't even a comment or a question. Oh, there it is. Hold on a second. So I'll put this question up here. Dude, honestly, I don't even know what that is. Formula One, I'm not aware with that. That's why I rely on the charts, though. Like, here's the thing. There are going to be people out there that know way more about basketball, baseball, football, pretty much anything than me. But that's also why I like to look at the charts and then piece it together from there. So I like to, in a way, reverse engineer things, as in, here are the prices that are really dropping. Let me go through these players and then pick out the ones and pick out the cards that make the most sense for me during the next 3 to 6 to, or even 12 months. But usually I like to think 3 to 6 months. But there are so many different options. Formula One, I just don't know anything about. But if you're interested in it and you know there's a big fan base, then I would look into it. I mean, people were saying the same thing about UFC 6 months ago, 8 months ago. And it's like, hey, if there's interest in it, people will go to it. So that's, I mean, it's basic, but here's a good answer for you. Yeah, oh, good. Yeah, thanks for helping him out too, because like you guys know more of this than me. Messi's prices have gone up overall, but here's the thing: there's not too many cards in here. So his 2014 Prism, I know I'm not sharing the chart, but the mega cracks, those rookie cards of those guys have definitely gone up over the last couple months. Okay, here's a good question. Knowledge power. Okay, here's my rule of thumb, and this is where I might differ on opinion than a lot of people, but for me, I'm not big onto new products, and I say that because, for one, I got into Mosaic 6 months ago, thinking Mosaic was like, this is going to be such a great set that everyone loves. It's going to compete with Prism and Select and Optic. And then when I look at the prices, it looked like Mosaic was really exciting at the beginning. The prices were super high, and then everything just seemed to drop. And then Prism and Select and Optic have just maintained their lead. But I was paying higher prices for Mosaic, assuming it would be in that discussion. And so I look at new sets like Hoops Premium, or even like even if it's not a new set like the Premium or Donruss Clearly, if it's just the 2020, 2021 of anything, if it's a rookie, if it's a new set, I know that there is a novelty around it, right? It's like the new BMW. It's going to be more expensive, but maybe they had a really faulty transmission that year, and then you realize, oh crap, like the 2019 BMW 5 Series is a much better car. I would rather just let it cool down, right? It's like a hot pie. You bake a hot pie. You don't want to eat the pie when it's super hot. You want to let it cool. And I'm actually proud of that analogy right there. That was actually pretty good. So yeah, new product, I'm not going to be the guy to ask, because I'm always waiting for things to settle in and be a bit forgotten about, because just the way we're seeing it with vintage now, it's a trend, like yeah, there's longevity with those cards, but it's still a trend in a way. It's still like, okay, everyone's on this, and then they realize the prices have gone too high, and then it swings back over. Think of it like a pendulum, right? It's like modern cards were it, and then all of a sudden we're mid-season or like towards mid-season of basketball, and there's nothing much to do, and then vintage, and it goes all the way there. Now what's going to happen is that's going to get outpriced, and then the deals are going to be on vintage or on a modern, and people are going to go to modern, and vintage will be forgotten about. I always see it as like just a swinging pendulum. All right. Meaning the cheaper rookie cards with appealing artwork. Yeah, totally. I mean, to me, I always think of it like you have the main rookie card, and then you have the PSA 10, and then if you can't afford that, you get the PSA 9, then there's the PSA 8, and then what else? Where else do you go? Is it second year Prism, second year Topps Chrome, second year Fleer? Is it, like I think that's always the question: is if you can't afford a $10,000 rookie card, where is the next stop? And I think of it like a condo tower. If you can't afford the penthouse, what are on the floors below that? Is it the second year? And so if it's a rookie year card, I dig it for sure. So anything rookie year with the best appeal, I think has the same chance, if not better of a chance, than second year Prism or a second year card of Topps Chrome or something like that. Oh, we got a super chat. Damn, a lot of you guys. D's Nutrients is here. Brian, Marcus. Dude, here's the thing. I'm not very risky. Like I'm a pretty low risk tolerance guy, which is why I use all the charts and the data I can, because I want to like minimize any and all risk if possible. And if the prices are high, I would sell. And so Kobe rookie cards were ones that I had in my newsletter months ago. And I was like, how in the world is Kobe's rookie cards? There were like 3 or 4 of them that were really low. And I would have bought then if I was in this price range and then sold off. And a couple months ago, I was just dealing with low end raw cards. And now I'm using that same mentality on higher end graded cards, just seeing that I'm right more often than I'm wrong. And, you know, to me, I'm like, hey, if I can make my 50% to 2x profit, sell off, buy something low. And if others make their profit, that's great for them. Everyone wins there. All right. Maybe, you know, I think the thing with Mosaic, and let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section, what you think of Mosaic. I love the look of Mosaic. I think it's a good looking product. I like the fact that Mosaic is NBA and NFL, which means that you don't forget about it, like hoops, or I don't know if there's like a football one that is football only and not in basketball, but I feel like that's it has the potential to be talked about year round. It's just so new that I feel like the prices got inflated because it was the first product and people were like salivating. They wanted something to do. They wanted something to rip open and talk about. And with NBA as well, I remember the timing of NBA Mosaic last year was just where COVID just kept us locked indoors. And then I think it was April that Mosaic NBA came out. And I think it was just like the perfect storm. Cards are exploding. We're stuck at home. Holy crap, we can rip this product. It's new. It's awesome. Let's go. And then I didn't realize that at the time, but that was the high. And then it simmered down. So could be some good opportunities in Mosaic. My take is that I will go with Prism, Select, Optic, and then when those cards become too much, I'll look into Mosaic, but I won't choose Mosaic over the other 3 just based on what the data has shown me. All right. Yes. Thank you, Richie, for the super chat alert there. Dude, how the hell did you get that really cool writing? Like, how did you get that font? Thoughts on your robe? Yes, my robe. This is my morning robe / my evening robe and afternoon robe and COVID robe. I got this at a shoot in it's like northern Florida, like the Panhandle, at a hotel, and the robes they had in the room was horrible, but the robe they had at the spa was great, and so I took one. All right, let's see here. Oh, let's see. Tampa Bay winning the Super Bowl. I mean, like, dreams do come true. If they win, I told my friend Andy, the Fantasy Football Card Quest, that the thing that has helped me through COVID and being in lockdown and away from my girlfriend and all this is the fact that Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski joined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sports cards came back into my life, and the Tampa Bay Lightning won. So sports and sports cards have carried me through the last year. Seriously. Seriously. Jordan versus LeBron. I mean, what a great storyline in terms of the young GOAT versus the actual GOAT. And is this going to be a passing of the torch, or is it like, hey, the old guy still has some tricks up his sleeve? But dude, I just hope it's a great game. And if it's not a great game, I hope it's a blowout where the Bucks win. Absolutely. What's up, Shane? Interesting thoughts there by Kyle. Dude, here's the thing, Greg. I've sold a lot of my Braden Point rookie cards. In fact, I only have a few left at PSA. I sold all of them on CompC. I sold all of them. I'm down with hockey exploding. It is still niche. It is still North America, Canada, a couple countries in Europe, but it's not really a Southern United States thing. I think the trend of hockey cards growing makes sense, but not at this pace. I don't see anything growing at the pace it's been over the last month and a half. That's where I'm like, look, I'll sell and I'll let it grow at a natural, organic pace like that. Or cold brew. Mm, interesting. What's up, Carson? Yeah, I've definitely heard the quality issues on Mosaic as well. What's up, John? Guys, if you are into flipping and not just flipping sports cards, but collectibles and all sorts of stuff, this is Cincinnati Picker. He has a great YouTube station, like 127,000 subscribers, going over all of his flips. John here has invited me onto an upcoming live stream with his audience, so I'm really excited about that, and I'll keep you guys posted. But if you love the idea of flipping and just seeing what's out there and how to make a profit and maybe turn this into a full-time living, definitely give Cincinnati Picker a view. Go to his YouTube channel and check out his content. I feel like Luka is a bad buy. That's interesting. I haven't followed the NBA nearly as closely because of how awesome my Bucks are doing, and I'd rather just watch Stephen A. Smith and whoever else talk about the Bucks than actually watch other sports. But I don't know, man. I was buying Luka in the offseason, very low stuff, but maybe it's a good time to buy. I mean, what do you guys think? I'd have to check the charts, but I just know the Mavs have not been very good. And it's also just a weird time of the year where I think people are confused with who's going to do well, except for the Clippers and the Lakers. And I forgot what other team, Philadelphia. A girlfriend actually has COVID. She's been handling it pretty bad. She's in Canada trying to get down here, but she's getting better by the day. But it was pretty rough on her, to be honest. The most female collector fans by far. I have 5. Everyone else has 4. That's great. What's up, Slade? I always thought I hated Brady, but this season has made me realize I just hate the Patriots. Yeah. You know, maybe your hatred was really on Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft, less on Tom Brady. So now that it's separating, hopefully you can become a Tom Brady fan. I was always a fan of his from afar just because of the guy he is. Because I saw him in Ted, you know, the movie Ted. There was a really funny scene with him in there. Entourage as well. And he just struck me as like a good guy, just overall. He has the wife, he has the kids, he has like the personality that's just very friendly and respectful. But just also like, dude, very aspirational in a way. Not like, all right, you're great on the field, but you strike me as an asshole. It's more like, hey, you look like you have a very well-balanced life. And then Rob Gronkowski just reminds me of me when I was 10 years old. Like that childlike excitement that he has at 30, whatever, 32, 33, I think is just amazing. There we go. That's awesome. Good to hear. So you wouldn't bank, or let me check out this one right here. So you wouldn't bank on any sort of start of the season spike. Oh no, you're good, man. Yeah. Well, the thing is, we see the spike before every season. So baseball's been going up like crazy. I don't know if it'll continue to go up for the next 2 months, but I always associate attention and hype with higher prices. So it's like when I go on ESPN's app and I watch SportsCenter, I see hardly anything on baseball, but I know that once football is over and all the Super Bowl talk is over, we're going to be stuck with basketball and then baseball. And, you know, hockey's going on, but SportsCenter doesn't really cover hockey too much because it is more of a niche sport than the other 3. But that's what I would expect, is that the prices either continue to climb in baseball or they stay roughly where they're at. I just don't see them falling before the start of the season when there's hardly any coverage on it. Yeah. Dude, that's what's interesting. The only thing that's weird with Pokemon is I don't know any strategy with with even Hall of Famers too. What is the strategy, except it's just you wait for the next wave of people to get in. If there's an upcoming documentary, you can play for that. But that's why I haven't gotten into Pokemon. It's just because I don't understand how you can get in and strategize an investment or a flip when they can't do anything. They're not even real. They're just drawings. You got it, Greg. I appreciate you. Oh, what's up? Jeremy's in the house. Good morning to you, Jeremy. Happy, I guess, good afternoon. Guys, if you want some great content from someone that knows a lot more about sports cards than myself, that has been in the industry for over 40 years, check out Jeremy's station, Sports Cards Live. He also interviews a lot of people from Beckett and I think Jeff from Sports Card Investor and people that are in the industry and really in the know. So definitely check out Jeremy's station right there. And then Brian says hi as well. Let's see. I don't know those cards specifically. I'd have to look them up. If you have a good feeling on it, then go for it. Obviously 2003 is his rookie year, so there's value just in that. But I don't know those cards specifically, and honestly, that's why I go to the charts, man. I'm like, if I don't know enough about a card, I got to see how many of these cards are being graded, how many are selling per month, what has the prices been like over the last 6 months in the year. That's what gives me confidence versus I kind of like this card. And I will say this, though, on that same topic, there was one card that you guys probably already know of. And let me see. I don't know if I could pull it up because it'll show the buyer's name, but I have it here. There's one card that I had a good inkling about. And guys, this is my last box from that PSA order of 221 cards. This is it. This is every single card in here that is left. And I showed Jeremy this from Sports Card Live. If you have a good feeling about a card and it's affordable from an investment sake, then go for it. And if you're a collector, then you can buy it for yourself regardless. This was a card I paid $6 to $8 for, and actually $10 was the max, so $6 to $10, and it was the 2012 Crusade. And the reason I liked it, sorry, it's kind of blurry there. The reason I liked it was because of those angel wings that you see in the background, which was on every card. I got a couple of these in a PSA 9, but then yesterday I sold this on eBay, a PSA 10. This is my extra one, but I have another one that's sold for $799. So that was $35 in, and I sold for $800. So maybe 720 after taxes, after eBay fee and whatnot. So that was a card that I go, this looks special to me. And if it looks special to me, it's going to look special to others. And when there are so many people in the hobby, you don't need 20,000 others to think it looks special. You could think you could have 200 or 300 people that thinks it looks special. But when you get it graded and you get a 9 or a 10, then all of a sudden those will be the people that are looking for the card. So the way I see it is that if I don't have a connection to the card, like I don't look at it and go, holy crap, this is amazing, then I look at the charts to see, do other people differ? Like, do they think it looks amazing, and are they buying it? If it's a card that I really believe in for myself, I know that there will be a handful of others that see it the same way. But that's also why, if this card raw was $300, I probably wouldn't have touched it because that would have been too expensive without any data behind it, if that makes sense. That was a very long-winded answer. Let me have some coffee. Here we go. All right, guys, let's see here. Boom, man. All right. A legend. Oh, it's legit, but yeah, legend and legit. What's up, Josh? Hey, man, I think that's fine, dude. I saw Trey Young really low as well. There was one of his Trey Young's rookie cards that was super low. I think it was his Revolution in PSA 9 that hit its peak about a month ago, and now it's at its all-time low or 6 month or 8 month low right now. So I see it, pendulum, vintage, the goats, all that stuff is super high. Okay, great time to sell. And then I would go into more modern, even though the goats are more secure. With these prices going up, I wouldn't buy now if you're looking to flip, assuming it'll double yet again when it's already doubled in many cases. Oh, someone's not a believer. Donovan Mitchell. Oh, that's interesting right there. Brady rookie card where he's wearing an orange practice jersey. There is a card I bought, and I wonder if I can pull it up. This was before the season started, and let me see if I could pull this up. But it was a Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady. Let me see if I have it here. Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady card with an orange parallel. And I thought it was super cool because oh, here it is. All right, let me share the screen. I'm going to remember to share the screen. There's actually two of them, but just for myself. All right, let's see. There it is. So I thought this was as close to a Tampa Bay Buccaneer card as I could get. And it's numbered to 99. It's number 25. But to me, I'm like, that is a cool card. It's kind of like the Patriots going over to the Buccaneers. And before the season started, they were talking about the new Bucs jersey. And I didn't know if they were going to go back to the creamsicles. So this orange was actually something that a lot of Bucs fans wanted. They wanted to say, all right, screw all the red and pewter, go back to the creamsicle jerseys. And, if they did that, I think this card would be even better, but still pretty cool card. All right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's safe stuff. I'd always want to buy the Jordan, Jeter, Trout, Brady, LeBron, Kobe at the low when everyone is talking about modern, right? I mean, why would I buy that now? Because their cards aren't going anywhere. The only difference I see is that if the fractional ownership and institutional money, as they enter the market, I would imagine those are the cards that they would target first, which would mean that overall I could see the vintage and the great, the GOATs going up more steadily, just as that money, I would imagine, would be attracted to those cards first. Yeah, dude, I hated Boston teams except for the Patriots. And it's only because of Tom Brady, but I hated the Celtics, hated Paul Pierce, hated Kevin Garnett. They would always beat my Magic back when Dwight Howard was there, and he was actually a good player. Jokic is better. Hey, man, we'll see. Dude, there's a long season ahead of us. So right now, I think it's just like lots of games, a lot of rest, a lot of rust. Let's wait for a month before the playoffs to see who's really in the picture. But I think that's the cool thing with the NBA. You just have so many games that you could win 4 in a row, and then it's a completely different story. You could lose 3 out of 5, and then that's a completely different story. But that's where it's like you can't overreact because you see the win-loss record over the last 10 games, and a team could be 3-7, and you're like, oh my God, it's over. But it's not over. You have like 40 more games to play. There's always going to be streaks, just like there's always going to be teams trending up, trending down, or cards trending up, trending down. So I still like to go back to what Vegas has as the odds, because I look at the articles that bloggers write that are really following NBA or following NFL, and like the fantasy football bloggers that are like, these are the guys that fantasy, if you're drafting for next year, these are the guys you want to target, because they're doing way more research than I am. So I'm like, look, I trust you that you are putting in more work. I'll read 5 of these articles, 10 of these articles, and then see who are the players that you believe will really be targeting to have a great year. And then in the back of my mind, I'll also go, all right, maybe these guys won't pan out, but I also know that there could be 5,000 others that are looking at these same articles for investing in sports cards. So they might be buying these cards a month before the season. So if I buy the cards 4 months before the season, I might be able to get out at a profit I'm happy with right then and there without seeing if they are actually going to perform or not. Well, I hope, I think it'd be amazing if it's Antonio Brown. I think it'd be amazing if Antonio Brown has the best, just in terms of redemption story and, finally overcoming himself and being able to stay on a team and not be a diva. For him to do that, I think would be incredible. I don't see it happening, but I'm also going to go with a Buccaneer player because I can't pick a Chief to have the biggest game. So I'd go with Chris Godwin. And Chris Godwin is a great receiver, but he's been dropping a lot of balls in the postseason. And I think it's just a bit of nerves, because when you think about it, none of these Buccaneer players have been nearly, been in the playoffs, let alone this far. Like the Super Bowl is just a pipe dream not too long ago, because they were like Mike Evans, for example. He was a great receiver since 2014 or 2015, but he hasn't been in the playoffs once. And so now all of a sudden he's in the Super Bowl. So I think there's a lot of nerves. Home of the former Super Bowl champions. You know, you had your year. I'll tell you this. How about this? Bucks win this year, and then I'll be happy for a while. And then you guys can take it next year. I'm good with that. Yeah, dude. A lot of different opinions on Luka, but yeah, this is a good point. Buy him now while his team is average. I love buying great players when they are slumping. When you know a player is better than their current performance, that's when I like to buy versus having to see it. Because if I saw it in the past and I have a reason to believe it'll happen again, I might as well buy during the slump. And even streaky players, like guys that aren't all-time greats, but that can go on really good runs, I think they're amazing because then you go, all right, you're slumping now. You haven't had one of those 3 games in a row of scoring 40 points, including a game winner. And so if you have 1 or 2 of those a year, typically, then let me just buy your cards after it's been a while since the last one. And then you know that people will overreact. They will go on that 3-game tear, and then you could sell right then and there. So I love that, man. I love that kind of chess game. Oh, dude, so comfy, man. And you know, part of it was like I'm lazy and I haven't left the house yet because it's only 10:45 here. And the other part was let me justify wearing the robe because it's now cards and cold brew for the morning. So it actually works with the show a bit more. And dude, it's crazy, Justin, because I was looking into Mike Trout cards back in October and November when baseball was just on crazy clearance. And I bought a couple, but I regret not buying more. And I actually had, I don't know if it was that card. I'd have to look at the picture, but there was a card that was roughly about $1,000 or $1,200 that I wanted to pick up of Mike Trout, and I could not get the lowest bid. So the learning lesson was that, for one, I was thinking too small because, you know, back then, like $1,000 for a sports card was just insane. It was like, there's no way, you know, I'm spending $5, $10, maybe $100 on a card, and 1,000 is just absurd. You know, that's my rent. That's like, I don't know, 2 months worth of groceries on a piece of cardboard. However, I remember whatever card this was, and I think it's the same one, I wanted to get the absolute best deal possible. So I wouldn't even bid the same amount as the prior auction. I was trying to bid a couple dollars less, or like $20 less, and I would miss out. And then all of a sudden it crept up a couple $100, and I was like, all right, screw it. It's not worth it. And the big learning lesson now that I'm applying to football cards, like the Russell Wilsons I got, even the Klay Thompson cards that I showed you guys in the last mail week, was I don't have to get the absolute best price. I just need to get a really good price that I believe in. So if the lowest auction price was $1,000, and I really believe that it's a good buy up to 13 or 1400, I might put in 1400 as my bid, because getting 10 good deals is better than going for one great deal and then missing out by $1. And I feel like that's what happened with the Mike Trouts. And I would have made a lot more money flipping those cards because I had the right formula, but I was going in for a steal versus just a deal, if that makes sense. Tyler Hero, most overpriced player in sports cards. Dude, yeah, it's crazy because I don't know what happened to him. I haven't been following NBA, but I know the Heat have just had a horrible record. But ever since that snarl, man, it's like, hey, you have a young kid that can hit the side of the backboard 4 times in a row in the NBA finals, and then he makes a shot and he has like a snarl, and all of a sudden his cards skyrocket. Y'all go for it. You do that. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. UFC cards, I think it's great. I don't have too much thoughts on it because I don't watch UFC too much, but I do love the fact that they are individual fighters. And then you have guys, you have big personalities like Conor McGregor, who, even if he loses a fight, man, him in an interview or in the lead up to a fight, he is so good at pumping himself. Like when I think of hype, I think of boxing fights or UFC fights where their job is to hype the event. This is going to be the fight. This is the one you're going to want to see. And that's why they can't have these guys that are great fighters, but without much personality. Because when you have the Conor McGregors in there and they can trash talk and they're charismatic, that's what really builds it up emotionally. And so I'm actually going to do a video talking about the difference between hype and merit and how I try and decipher the two, because it is like a gray area. But part of it is like hype a lot of times is storyline, right? Like the actual game is the game, or the fight is the fight, but the storylines behind it is the hype. And you think about what they're doing with the Super Bowl right now, and it's Tom Brady and revenge on Bill Belichick, and this is Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes, and they build it up to something more than just a football game, which is amazing marketing, and it's why we're so excited about all these events. But when we pay for that, we got to be acknowledging the fact that we're paying for these storylines that will quickly disappear when the fight starts or the game starts. All right, what's up, Anthony? Yeah, man, dude, I was supposed to go to Vancouver last year. I might have to go to Vancouver in July, and I not have to, but it's like a guy's retreat. It was supposed to be in Vancouver last summer, and obviously COVID happened. Oh, look who's in the house collecting Dustin, aka the personal finance dad. What's up, man? I went on live with Dustin a few nights ago. We had a great time there as well. This is interesting. Neil Armstrong. If I saw a Neil Armstrong 1969 Topps card, I for sure would buy it, assuming it's not like $10,000. But I think that's great. And I got to give a shout out to Ben Carlos, who has a new YouTube station. He turned me on to this card right here. I'll pull it up. And I'm actually pissed at myself for not knowing about it earlier, because it's a card that I was like, if I knew about this a year ago and it was so cheap, I would have bought this card I would have bought like 100 of them because they're awesome. So hold on a second. Let me pull it up. And it sucks because now I have 6 of them here on Comp C, but I wish I had more. Hold on a second. So look at this. This was like $1 card right here. This is Will Smith in the early 90s, a Hoops Stay in School card. I'm like, how cool of a card is that? I see, and this is where it goes back to what I was talking about with Jeremy from Sports Cards Live. I would love to have cards of Will Smith back in the day, or Hugh Jackman in his breakout role, or Ryan Reynolds in Van Wilder, or certain guys that I really like, and actresses as well. But anyway, if you want the last one, there's one for $20 on Comp C, but this was like $1 card. So anyway, I don't know where that came from, but all right, guys, let's see. It's been almost an hour. Whew, man. Oh, this is a good question by Bill Berg. I was talking to Dustin about this as well. I'm all for new grading companies. I'm all for trying to make it a more appealing slab. In fact, here, watch. You're going to see my whole robe. This is why it's so important that they get the color coding right. All right. So this card right here is a Shaquille O'Neal. Sorry, it's really blurry. I just sold this. PSA 9 Topps Chrome Shaquille O'Neal. The card looks fine, right? This is the issue I have. With that red label, with a teal color, and it looks kind of blue now, but it's really teal. With a teal colored card and a red label, it looks horrible to me. And you guys see it as blue because I'm looking at the screen. It looks blue, but it's really more teal. I'm like, this is horrible. But I'll show you another card I have. If I have it. Okay. This card right here, probably the best looking card in a red PSA slab, right? The card itself looks like a slab. But the point is that I like the idea of color coding, but I'm not going to be buying HGA cards until I can see the proof that people are paying more or a similar amount for them. When it's socially accepted by the hobby, I would take it seriously. But a new grading company, a new platform, a new anything, like when people are like, what do you think of Donruss Clearly or Hoops Premium? I look at all that like a rookie. It's a rookie card. There's hype, there's attention, it's new. Let me wait a year to see if they're still around and to see where they are in the market at that point, because I don't want to be paying more than I have to. Well, more than I have to, but I don't want to be paying more because they are new and talked about. I want to be paying what they're actually worth. And, there's a lot of hype around different things right now, but I'd rather just let it sit. All right. Yeah, man. Oh, dude, you were right. You were totally right on that. I can't believe how much I've sold that for, and I only have about 15 of them left. Some of them aren't even listed on eBay, but yeah, it's been crazy. Did you, dude? I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe that I actually turned a pretty decent profit after paying more than double what I expected. That's insane. Damn, I'm so behind on comments here. Yeah. Yeah, about 34. So okay, if you had to bet on a PSA 10 Prism rookie, would you buy Trey Young or Zion? And I think the first thoughts that enter my mind, the first thoughts are, what are the prices compared to each other? Let me look at the prices on the pop report, because everything boils down to, what am I paying for the card? It's like, I believe in a card based on how much I pay for it, not necessarily the overall player. So Trey Young, I think to myself, all right, you have an extra year under your belt, perhaps less rookie cards. I'd have to check the pop, but I'm sure less rookie cards, which is helpful. And I don't follow either team as much as you guys do, but the injuries with Zion is something I still want to see how that pans out. I don't know if Trey has had nearly the injuries. So just off of that little bit of information, I would lean towards Trey, but I would also do a lot more research first. What's leaning against your bookcase? Yeah, like the golf club? Wait, no? Hold on a sec. Oh, there it is. You mean that's a golf club there, if that's what you're talking about, that I never use. Totally believe in second year cards of LeBron. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with any LeBron early card or iconic card. Oh, dude, great question here. Did subscribing to Market Movers change your drive and organization to the point where you could really commit to the hobby? Here's the thing. I remember having this in a video a long time ago. I said, for me to take this as a business versus a hobby, I need to treat it as a business, not a hobby. So that means I need to invest more money. I need to invest more time. I got to be more organized, blah, blah, blah. However, when it comes to Market Movers or Card Ladder or anything like that, I don't have confidence in paying a lot of money for cards without a lot of data behind it. So when I can look into, here are the sales, here is the amount of stuff, I have a lot more confidence pulling the trigger on $1,000 card versus just, I think this player will do well. Well, I think this player will do well is putting a lot of control in other factors that we don't have control over, like putting a lot of faith into things that I don't have control over. However, when I have the tools that say, all right, this is what the price was, this is the price now, this is the amount of cards available, then I go, all right, I don't know if this player is going to pan out. I don't know if they're going to, unfortunately have like an injury like Klay Thompson or Dak Prescott or one of these guys. I can't tell what's going to happen in their lives. But if I can stack all of these other factors in my favor by saying, all right, this is the time I want to buy. The charts look good. It looks like a low point. I have a few reasons to believe that this will go up in the next 3, 6, or 12 months, all those things, then at least I'm minimizing my risk so that if they do get injured, I could at least say, I did all the research. I looked up the player. I looked up their performance. I looked up which card seems to be the lowest or the best value. I bought at the time I believed it was at the best value, all that kind of stuff. Then I just let them go, because it's like that's all we can do is we hope that they perform the way we want them to, but that's out of our control. So I think I'm rambling. I need more coffee. Uh-oh, who's in the house? Got to go down to you. I'm gonna sign off soon. I didn't expect y'all to be here. Hold on a second. Where you at? Where you at? Holy crap. Lots of comments here. Dex Flow. There is Dex. Frank and Sons in City of Industry. Frank and Sons. I'm going to write that down right now. Frank and Sons. Sounds like a plumbing company. Or maybe they sell, or a hot dog stand. Oh, shit. Frank and Son collectible show. Interesting. Okay, cool. I'm screenshotting it right now. Thanks for the heads up. And yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, let's see what other questions are here. And anyone else that's in this in industry, City of Industry, I guess. Yeah, Industry, California. It's a weird name of a city, but if you're in the area, then check that out. Yes, sir. Okay. I appreciate you, Chris. Thanks so much. If you had to invest in one NBA Prism card, which one would you buy? Which player would you buy? NBA. Here's the thing, man. I watch NFL a lot more. So off season, this is what I did off season. I looked up who are the top players in the NBA. Like, so now there's 10 results on Google. I'd go through where does every NBA blogger rank the best players, and then I would pretty much eliminate the top 2 or 3 because usually the prices are through the roof of the most obvious guys, and then I would look down to numbers 4 through 10 to see, like, all right, what players are in that 4 to 10 range that look like they're still young but established. They're on playoff caliber teams or expect to be playoff caliber teams, and their prices are really good. And that's pretty much it for sports I don't follow super in depth. And I'm following basketball like somewhat, but not nearly as much. So that's the way I did it. And that's why I got a lot of Nikola Jokic rookie cards on CompC for $40 to $50, and they're raw, but I got them so damn cheap that I was selling them for $100 to $150 easily, because everyone had Nikola Jokic listed like 8th best player, 9th best player in the league, and yet his prices were way less than some of the guys they had listed number 12 and 14, and I didn't know how to make sense of it. Plus, the Denver Nuggets were listed as like a team that should make the playoffs. So everything really stacked in my favor, but that's just the way I like to go about it. Is I want to defer to the people that follow basketball or baseball or soccer or whatever way more than me, but then apply this knowledge of what's the best value, what's the best time to buy, what's the card that's underpriced, all those things, so that at least I'm doing my part. All right, guys, I'm going to head out. I see a lot more questions here. Select Premier Silver. I believe a lot of Select is underrated. Jared, hey Brad, when you buy your cards, do you set a price point and wait for the prices to drop to that point? When I buy my cards, I look at the charts overall, and let me see if I could just pull one up, for example. So, and I'll pull up my soccer card example because this is just something I took action on. So, and this is very rule of thumb. Nothing too amazing. Hold on, let me share the screen. So this is what I do. I go under here for one. I go under let me see if I'm sharing the entire screen. I think I am. I go here, and then I'll take a look at what cards have been dropping the most over the last 30 days. And this is where I get intrigued, because what I'll do is, and this is soccer, but if I go through here, I'm like, this has dropped a lot in the last 30 days. What's up with it? And then I'll click on the chart, and then I'll just look further into it, like, okay, what's the reason? And if I like the chart, then I will go into the player and go, all right, well, why has this guy gone down? Oh, he twisted his ankle. All right, well, he twisted his ankle, but when will he be back? Should be back in a month, because I read another article saying, oh, he'll be back in a month. And then I'll get interested. Right now, this chart does nothing for me, but this one right here is one of the cards I bought. And if you saw that last Mail Week video, the reasoning was because I saw this happen. I remember everyone was talking about soccer cards. It was going through the roof. And this is kind of what I'm seeing now with a lot of vintage. And even though it's vintage and it's great players, it still worries me because when charts go through the roof like this, you know it's going to end at some point. And then it obviously went down just a month later. And back in it was around October and November, I'm looking here, and every single card was ending around the same price. And so what I like to see is that floor. So if you take a look here, I'll make the screen bigger and make sure I'm sharing the screen. Good. Oh, hold on. Let me take your comment off real quick. Okay, so this is what I look for. I look for a floor where it looks like things are just not really going down. Like auctions are going on all the time, but they always seem to end within a few dollars or a few percentage. And that's when I feel confident that enough investors are saying, I'm good with this price, and this is the new floor for the card. And so that's when I was buying up these cards. I bought 4 of them for Lionel Messi, and I think 11 or 12 or 13 or whatever of Cristiano Ronaldo, because I said, it looks like it's just not going down. And if it does, it does. But that type of length of it being like this is just too low. And then you can see here in the last couple, I guess the last month, they've actually started to go up. So these cards I bought for 120 on average, and now they're at 200, 239, 212. It's not, I don't expect it to ever be somewhere like this because that was just stupid. But at 120, if it could hit 300, 350, or even just this price, I'm happy with it. I don't even know if I answered your question, to be honest. Okay. Off-season buys for the NFL. Great question. I was buying, and here's the interesting thing with the NFL, because if you saw the beginning of the live stream, there was a lot of football cards still going up in price. I was seeing Sam Darnold cards higher now than months ago, and I'm like, Sam Darnold, like, why in the world are his cards so high? I get it. Tom Brady, Deshaun Watson, who else? Patrick Mahomes. Those guys make sense. But then all these other guys, Dalvin Cook, higher now. So I'm using the charts, man. So let me pull up the charts one more time on football, but just to show you how I would do this. But I like Lamar Jackson. I've been buying Dak Prescott's before everyone was talking about him. I bought a couple of Christian McCaffreys as well because I know he's still high on a lot of fantasy lists. And I don't know. And I also heard that Carolina is making a big push for Deshaun Watson. So I'd be curious to see if they could get him. I hope not for the Bucs' sake, but if they get him and Christian McCaffrey's there, then that'd be pretty damn powerful. But so let me show you real quick before I hop off. This is how I go about it. And I got to end on this quote. So if anyone hadn't seen the first few minutes, this is one quote that I pulled up because I feel like a lot of people are getting greedy right now. And this is where I'm starting to be a bit more skeptical and fearful of all the prices going through the roof. So just remember this quote by Warren Buffett: we simply attempt to be fearful when others are greedy, and to be greedy only when others are fearful. Just remember that going forward. It's a great thing in life as well. Okay. So this is what has gone down the most in the last 30 days in football, according to market movers. And you see the new guys, Tua and Joe Burrow and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and all this. And so I go down the list and I say, all right, what intrigues me the most? And I see right here, okay, Russell Wilson intrigues me because he's never really hyped, but he's a great player. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer. He has an amazing receiver in DK Metcalf. So I look here and I go, all right, this last price is $165. Let's see when the last time it was $165. I go, all right, 187. It looks like right here, $160. So July. This looks like it's at preseason prices in July. I don't know what's going to happen in the next month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. I have no clue. I do expect more people to get into football cards. But overall, I would look here and go, all right, at 165, I think that is a pretty solid price. I might wait for this to go another week or two to see if it dips even further. But based on it being there and the peak of this card being more than double, I mean, the peak really was here in his playoff run when he was doing incredible things, 452. But if I go, all right, 310, 300, 360, 355, am I good paying 165? And I think the answer would be yes, because preseason next year, I don't believe that price will be lower. So if I wanted to liquidate, if I wanted to get out at cost, I believe I would be able to at least break even before this season began. And I doubt Russell Wilson will get injured or do something stupid before then. But that's why I need to look at the charts, because I can't just do this off of, I have a gut feeling or my crystal ball tells me that they're going to do well. I need to look up everything that I can. So I hope that. Dude, I totally X'd out of the live stream. Let me see here. Hold on a second. I totally just X'd out of the live stream like it was nothing. You know, you would think that StreamYard has something that would say, are you sure you want to exit out of your live stream right now? Are you sure that this is this the X you want to click? So hold on one second. Okay. But I definitely wanted to pass that on to you guys. The charts are called market movers. There's also another one called Card Ladder. Check out cardladder.com, sportscardinvestor.com, market movers. I'm a fan of trying everything and seeing which one works for you. So do that. And yeah, some of these comments then. Now I'm going to sign off. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to y'all later. See ya. End broadcast. That's the button I'm looking for.